What's up guys, Razik with Razik Auto Transport. Today we're going to talk about commercial driving license. Let's get started. Alright guys, let's go right into it. Let's go down to page 5, which is the table of contents. We're going to highlight this, but we're going to go over this later. Section 1, who needs a commercial driving license, CDL, and how to get a CLP, which is commercial learning permit / CDL. Now this we're gonna go over a little bit later. Let me scroll down. This is what you need to study. By the way, this is for people with testing without air brakes. So these are the sections that you need to study for the written test. So section 2, all of that 2.1 to all the way to 2.23. Make sure you study that. Now in the written test, you're also going to have section 5 air brakes questions, so we're gonna go over that, but let's go to section 3 first. You also need to study transporting cargo safely, so that's 3.1 to all the way to 3.4. Make sure you guys study that. No section 4, but section 5, you'll have some of these questions on the written test, so study section 5, 5.1 to 5.4. Combination vehicle section 6, you need to study that. You'll see a lot of questions about this also. And then section 7, doubles and triples, 7.1 to 7.4. Make sure you study that also. Now let's scroll down to section 11, vehicle inspection test. Make sure you guys study that. This will give you a lot of information on when you're taking the vehicle inspection test, and a lot of these questions are in the written test also. And also basic control skill test. Make sure you guys study this section 12, and then section 13 road test. You'll know what kind of test they're asking for when you study this. Alright, so let's go to this diagram. In here, this determines a class of CDL requirements. So I'm going to circle this one, the first one, which is the GVWR / GCWR 26,001 or more pounds. So yes, most of the car hauling that you're going to be doing, you're going to be over that weight. So let's go to the right side. Yes. And this second area says, is the GVWR of the power unit 26001 or more? No. So let's go down. Is the GVWR of the trailer / tow unit 10,000 or more? Yes. So we're gonna go to, is the GCWR 26 and 1 or more pounds? Yes. So you need a CDL. And if you are doing without restrictions, you can if you're doing this with restriction, you can say no, but still you need a class A commercial license, but you'll have I guess restriction 88. All right, now let's move on to the table of contents again. I forgot to mention or highlight this 1.2 medical documentation requirements. This is very important if you're taking your written tests for your CLP, your commercial learning permit. You need to have your medical documentation, your medical certificate, in order to get your CLP, your commercial learning permit. Okay, so let's highlight this, how to get a CLP. You got to be 18 years old, must apply for CLP, but also hold a California driver license prior to issuance. So make sure you have your license. If you're gonna go interstate, you have to be 18 years old. Actually, if you have to be 21 years old if you're gonna go interstate. You can only drive intrastate if you're 18. Now let's go to who needs a CDL. You must have a CDL to operate 26,001 pounds. So basically that little diagram that we went over, this is describing it in words. All right, so make sure you read through that. All right, let's scroll to okay, so I highlighted this commercial learning permit. Just want to let you guys know, before you do your skill test and your road test, you have to wait 14 days, and after the 14 days, so you can, after that you can take your skill test and road tests. Basically gives you these 2 weeks to practice your skill test and your road tests. So that information is also here. Make sure you guys read through this page also. And also some additional information: you got to be a California resident to get a commercial learning permit or a commercial driving license. And if you're coming out of different states, so make sure you're residents also of California. You can't just get a permit if you're not a resident. So go over this page. It has some useful information if you guys are coming out of other states. Just additional information on that. Alright, let's scroll down to section 1, which is knowledge test. So in this general knowledge test, you're probably going to be taking 55 questions. Everything that I told you about section 2 mostly is in that general knowledge test. Also study your air brakes. That section is also there, combination vehicles, so you can choose between them. So if you want to do air brakes first or combinations, I didn't do air brakes because I don't have air brakes in my vehicle, so I just did general knowledge, combinations. I don't have hazardous materials, so I didn't do that. I did doubles and triple. Okay, so let's go to vehicle inspection. Make sure you read about that. So once you get your CLP, your commercial learning permit, you waited 14 days. Now you need to do a vehicle inspection test. They're basically going to ask you everything about your vehicle, safety, your trailer, all of that good stuff. You're gonna have to describe your truck and trailer. It takes about 40 minutes for this test. Sometimes it takes an hour if they ask you to describe everything that is from the beginning of truck to all the way at the end. Now basic control skill test, that this takes about 30 minutes. So this is your skill test, offset, parallel parking, all that good stuff. And then after that you're going to take a road test, which is the easiest part. So read this section also, this page, and make sure you guys are informed about this information. This is page 15 of 208, so make sure you guys read that. Okay guys, let's go down to section 1.2, medical documentation requirements. So this is basically saying if you want to get your CLP or any endorsements or anything like that, make sure you have your medical examiner certificates. Basically a physical that you get from your doctor, and it says that you are good to go with commercial driving license, so they give you that. Okay, now this information right here we already talked about. It's the motor carrier permit. You need this for any CMV, which is commercial motor vehicle in California. So before you start doing your business, go to this area, this section of the handbook. All that information is there. Department of Motor Vehicle. The number is 916-657-8153, and you will get your motor carrier permit once you give them a call and ask them information about that. Or you can go to dmv.ca.gov, and you'll find that information there for your motor carrier permit. Alright guys, if you guys have any more questions and if I miss anything, please do comment below and I will answer all your questions. Like and subscribe for more videos like this, and thank you for watching. Have a good day.